Welcome to Africa Insight. In this week's video, we asked Jervin Naidoo to unpack for us some of the issues plaguing Nigeria, particularly around terrorism and kidnapping. So Jervin, tell us what is going on in Nigeria.
So yes, Neil, so basically this is what happened over the past week. Last week, Friday on the 21st of November, 300 girls were kidnapped from a boarding school in northern Nigeria in Niger State. This is the largest amount of girls kidnapped since the infamous incident in 2014. The Chibok girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram. This time the girls were kidnapped by bandits. So bandits are groups of armed criminals. They move around on motorcycles. They're quite hard to get hold of, and they use kidnap for ransom to generate funds, which pays for weapons, and they cause all kinds of other insecure issues. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing more and more incidents of these kidnappings. It's just been increasing in the north. It's getting worse. So on top of kidnapping, you obviously have the terrorist issue in the north of the country. Then we have the middle belt violence, which affects the country. These are a conflict between herders and sedentary farmers. And then in the south, we have the secession movement as well. So these are just some of the major security issues plaguing Nigeria.
So what is President Bola Tinubu doing about it?
So yes, so yesterday, the 26th of November, President Tinubu issued a state of the emergency, a national security state of emergency. And this was in light of all the issues around the girls being kidnapped and the international media. So he's really putting some real efforts into sorting out the issue. And I think, Niels, my big takeaway here is that the only reason he's doing this is because of the pressure from the United States. Now, in my coverage of Nigeria over the last 18 months, terrorism, kidnap for ransom, I know that sounds bad, but it's a normalized part of Nigerian society. And the government has been making gradual progress. It's not significant, but steady progress. But in recent times, the comments by President Donald Trump and his deputy J.D. Vance saying there's a genocide against Christians in the north has really upped the rhetoric and the ante of the issues plaguing Nigeria. So I think in part, President Tinubu is under pressure to deal with the issues. And I hope that it makes a significant improvement because it's now utilizing additional resources, getting more soldiers on the ground, police officers, and all of these kinds of things to hopefully sort out the issue. But solving all of the security issues needs a holistic approach. It's not just a security one. You need to solve the root causes of why is there terrorism, middle belt violence, or the secessionists in the south.
So is the situation really that bad for a state of emergency?
Yes. So that's an interesting question, Niels. When people think of state of emergency, we normally think, oh, wow, things are really bad. But in this case, my thinking or when I unpack it, I think it's actually not a bad thing. The reason being is even though there's been gradual progress, I think the state of emergency will put more pressure on Tinubu to act more decisively. In my analysis and my coverage of his leadership, he sometimes can be a bit undecided in the way he does things. So I think this puts more pressure. Also, Niels, the other interesting thing is that, terrorism, Western media picks up on all the big like this 300 girls. But almost every week there are kidnappings, there are killings. It's a very normalized situation. And it risks that people become apathetic and it's a normal part of Nigerian society. So I think the state of emergency will just shake everybody up, put people under pressure to solve the problem. So while it may seem like it's a bad thing for risk, generally speaking, a state of emergency, I don't necessarily think it's a bad way. I think it's going to encourage more solutions. And yeah, I think let's leave it at that. Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.